and welcome to this special episode of the Societal Lens. Today we're talking about superstition. Okay, so Halloween comes from the pagan celebration of Samhain. The Celts believed that on the night of the 31st of October, the spirits of deceased returned to the world of the living. And you've probably heard in movies, oh, Halloween is the night where the veil between the living and the dead is the thinnest. So, yeah, that's where that comes from. To ward off the spirits, they lit bonfires and dressed in animal skins, and that's where the tradition of dressing up as skeletons and witches. And so, when Irish immigrants arrived in America, Halloween merged with American influences, and it became a celebration that was characterized by the costumes and the sweets and the activities related to the supernatural that we know today. Trick or treat can be traced back to the ancient celebration of people offering food to the wandering spirits in an attempt to appease them and ward off evil. Over time, those offerings began to include soul cakes, which were a type of sweet bread, and this early connection between sweets and the supernatural laid the foundation for the future association of Halloween with candy, which I don't know why my research has the American form. Candy. But so initially, trick-or-treating was known as souling in Britain, where children would go door to door singing songs and offering prayers to the dead in exchange for small cakes called soul cakes. Trick-or-treating, as we know it today, didn't take off until the mid-20th century, and it was during the baby boom of the 50s and 60s that Halloween became really popular in America. So communities began organizing official trick-or-treating events, and the concept of going house to house gained a lot of traction. Halloween candy in particular played a significant role in the growth of trick-or-treating. Initially, it was homemade treats like cookies and cakes and caramel apples. But by the 30s, candy manufacturers saw an opportunity and started to produce individually wrapped candies suitable for Halloween distribution. So another big tradition that a lot of people will partake in Halloween is carving pumpkins. The tradition of carving pumpkins comes from a famous legend about a man called Stingy Jack. So, according to the myth, Jack was a blacksmith who made a deal with the devil, and his trickery prevented the devil from taking his soul upon death, but also doomed him to an eternity of wandering the earth as an undead spirit. The devil, feeling betrayed, gave Jack only a burning coal inside a carved-out turnip to light his way. The story of Stingy Jack likely inspired the Irish to create their own lanterns out of turnips and potatoes during All Souls' Day celebrations. These lanterns were believed to ward off evil spirits and guide the souls of the deceased back to their loved ones. It wasn't until Irish immigrants arrived in America that the pumpkin became the carving vegetable of choice because they were larger and easier to carve than turnips. And the tradition quickly took off.
Could you explain how exactly it was a superstition? Because, I'm looking at the definitions right now and I'm not quite connecting
Halloween's
the
not a
dots.
superstition, is it?
Why would you? Why I have the star, Sam.
God, I'll cook some legends.
Yeah, just keep watching the birds. Okay, so this demonstrates how superstitions like that come about and how they have big stories rooted in different cultures, as we'll go on to explore in a little bit.
The Oxford Dictionary definition of a superstition is excessively credulous belief in and reverence for the supernatural. I didn't understand that, and I didn't like it either. Wikipedia defines superstition as a belief or practice resulting from ignorance, fear of the unknown, trust in magic or chance, or a false conception of causation, or an irrational abject attitude of mind toward the supernatural nature of God. Superstitions as a whole came from regional and historical circumstances, which is why they seem a bit wacky today. Some other superstitions that I found really interesting was, one superstition that I found really interesting is the way black cats are in general, because normally they're kind of seen as a bad omen. Uh, Oftentimes, they are thought of as like to do with witches as familiars. However, I've also found that some variations where, for example, a cat running across the street is good luck. Only if it's one direction, though. I don't know which direction. You're just gonna have to hope and pray. There's also one that I forgot the name of, but it's to do with poles. When you're walking down the street and there's a lamppost, there's a pillar, it doesn't matter what, everyone has to go on the same side. The person that strays to the other side will have bad luck. When I was looking at superstitions, it seemed most common in Central Europe, Eastern Europe, and Asia. There are superstitions pretty much everywhere, but those were the places that seemed to come up most frequently. So at the very least, they're the most popular.
One of the superstitions is knock on wood, where many arguments and they've never come to like a reasoned conclusion. But one of the most common explanations traces to the phenomenon to ancient pagan cultures such as is it Celts?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. They believed that spirits and gods resided in trees, so they would like knock on the tree trunks to rouse the spirits and call on their protection. But it also could have been a way of showing gratitude for a stroke of good luck. Another theory is that people knocked on wood to chase away evil spirits or prevent them from listening in when they were boasting about their luck. Christians have linked it to the crucifixion because obviously the cross was made out of wood, so you know. And other researchers consider knocking on wood a more recent phenomenon. The law of the playground. British folklorist Steve Rood, I don't know how to say it, traces the practice to a 19th century children's game called Ticky Touchwood. It was a type of tag in which players were immune from being caught whenever they touched a piece of wood, such as a door or a tree. Also, Turkish people often pull on one earlobe and knock on wood twice to ward off a jinx. Wow. Italians say the phrase touch iron to avoid tempting fate. And then there's magpies. There are like a bunch of superstitions about magpies. And there's a lot of things that like people will do when they see a magpie. I think the most common one is saluting, but there's also winking, complimenting it, saying hello to it, or flapping your arms to imitate a second magpie. Okay, so there was magpie counting at the time of crucifixion of Jesus. Oh yeah, this is like the one for sorrow, two for joy, three for girl, four for a boy, five for silver, six for gold, seven for a secret, never to be told. There's more, but that's all that was on the website. I know, right? At the time of the crucifixion of Jesus, the magpie was supposed to be the only bird who didn't comfort or mourn for him. Don't know how birds comforted him, but the birds. Oh, it was also said that the only bird to not go into the ark with Noah was the magpies. Instead of going with Noah, it sat on top and continued swearing while the world was drowned. And these religious superstitions indicate that the bird cannot be trusted. They're also known for stealing shiny objects. So like they have the attribution of being evil, I guess. I don't know. And some of the superstitions revolve around their eating habits because they're omnivores and eat plants, seeds, and dead animals. And due to this habit of eating dead animals, the bird is considered to have some devil's blood. I don't know why. And is associated with death as well.
Well, there are multiple reasons why one may follow superstitions they have. Well, certain people believe in them as a result of something that occurs in an event they're doing, such as a football game. If that football game goes positive, they may link it to something they were wearing or something they did that day. Then they may try and repeat that thing to have the same good outcome.
Classical conditioning is when you associate a neutral stimulus with. I can't even be bothered to explain.
Positive.
It's a lot of it. So much explaining. It's learning through association, and then operant conditioning is when you say if you saluted the magpies, that thing, and every time you salute the magpie, something goes well. You're gonna keep saluting the magpie because it's reinforcing it.
Or if you don't salute a magpie and something bad happens, that is
negative reinforcement.
Classical and operant conditioning actually has a pretty big place in OCD, particularly. Classical conditioning is like learning by association. Operant conditioning is reinforcing it. It has a pretty big part in OCD, and Sam actually did a little bit of research on how that relates to superstitions.
The concept of superstitions can be seen within OCD. Also, well, it's named in this case as fixations. When they repeat an act, so that they won't feel stressed, it's a way to kind of counter the bad effect it will have on their mental health if they did not do that. This is similar to the case of superstitions. If they don't do it, then it will end up being bad, whatever happens.
But of course, this is not the only factor of OCD.
Of course, there are many
Yeah.
factors of OCD, though, of course.
Specifically, genetic vulnerabilities as well. Sam.
Specifically, genetic vulnerabilities as well. Sam.
Oh my god, but don't make it obvious.
Ow.
Like the cert gene.
Like the cert gene. And it is.
Put your ears on, Sam.
Thank you.
Sam is the copycat.
Find some stuff about OCD because there's multiple factors to it, like biological and genetics. That's just it. I just want to catch us up.
Superstitions may be also used as a method to control the unknown. With so much unknown in our universe, people sometimes feel like they can't control how events happen and how the world works. So, superstitions can be a counter to that, thinking that if they do something, something will end up being good or bad. A final reason why people may follow superstitions may be due to media promotion. Certain TV programs may have episodes that focus around a superstition. This may promote the idea that superstition may be real or reinforce ideas that people already have about superstitions.
Another really popular superstition is astrology. Astrology is the study of movements and relative positions of celestial bodies interpreted as having influence on human affairs and the natural world. There are 4 categories of zodiac signs, which includes the fire signs, earth signs, air signs, and water signs. Some people believe that the sign you are determines personality traits or what's going to happen to you in the future. Astrology has grown over thousands of years into a huge and ornate superstructure that lacks a central design. This isn't according to me. This is according to a website, okay? The light of modern-day inquiry has shown its substance to be mostly illusionary and revealed its foundation to be the shakiest possible, that of self-justification and anecdotal evidence. Our problem with anecdotal evidence, like case studies, right, is that it's not very generalizable, you can't really prove it, it's not very valid. Just look at Freud. I mean, enough said.
That guy. People, it can be accurate. However, in my personal opinion, it is accurate because a lot of the traits that I mentioned seem kind of vague. I'm a Scorpio. I have Scorpio friends. There is this trait that like Scorpios are very dirty-minded or something, and then a lot of my Scorpio friends are like the most innocent people, or maybe I just have really skewed view on what that is, but
vague and not very specific,
Yeah.
which I guess is how they make it apply to everyone, you know?
Yeah. It's a lot are accurate in quotation marks just because of pure coincidence. Like a lot of people are dirty-minded and some of them may happen to be Scorpios, or a lot of people cry a lot and may happen to be Cancers.
Or Lees, you know.
May happen to be me.
There may also be other factors influencing, like, cancers, for example, being crybabies. But, like, okay, so all the zodiac signs are born in specific parts of the year, so, like, cancers are born in the summer, July. But, like, say in the summer, more parents might be off work, right? So then they form stronger attachments to their children and vice versa, which means the children cry more when the parents are away because they have a stronger attachment. That could be one explanation for some of these differences in quotation marks we're seeing.
Yeah, it's correlation but not causation in terms of this. So, Haley, why do a lot of people believe in astrology?
The reasons behind the pervasive belief in astrology are multifaceted, encompassing elements of psychology, personality traits, societal influences, and personal preferences. A study from Science Communication revealed that the more ology suffix led to participants to rate astrology as more scientific. indicating potential semantic confusion between astrology and astronomy, which is like the study of the stars and stuff. Also, having a high external locus of control, believing that other things affect your life more than you do. So, like, external factors having a greater impact, such as the stars, etc., might lead you to be more susceptible to believing in astrology.
So astrology is usually associated with women. So like I feel like there might be sort of like a feeling of belonging, I suppose, to a community that's dominated by women, and that might feel safe for a lot of people.
Yeah, there's also what I notice, and it might just be because of what my TikTok for you page is. There's a lot of queer people who are like into astrology and stuff.
I guess it's because astrology isn't like kill you because you're gay.
What?
Explain.
I'm saying astrology isn't homophobic, such as other religions. Some people in other religions, I'm not saying all people, that's not correct. Some people in other religions use their religion as a reason to be homophobic, and you can't really do that with astrology, because...
Are you superstitious?
I am.
I'm superstitious, yeah.
I'm Aline, by the way.
I'm Charlie, and I'm not that superstitious, but like sometimes I go along with the ones my family believes in. E.g., the one that my cousin makes me do all the time, which is the freaking pole thing. Where everyone in a group of people have to walk on one side of the pole, lamppost, pillar, whatever.
Haley, are you superstitious?
Not really. I do some superstitions, like, I salute the magpies. Also, 11:11. I make 11:11. I have to focus for the whole minute, and I can't watch it.
I
change
can't
as
look
well.
at the. Yeah!
That's against the rules. And it's only 11:11. Oh.
What about 11 p.m.? Do you count 11 a.m. and p.m. as
I do. Sam, are you superstitious?
Not that much. I have personal superstitions, but really not that
What are they?
superstitious at all. Great question. I think, ironically, the car game has turned into a superstition. Whenever I see a mini now, I automatically punch the air.
When you're by yourself!
Yeah, just punch the air.
What if someone's next to you? You're just like.
I take out my aggression directly on them. Also, yellow cars. Teslas I can't recognize. It's fine with me. That's not even a problem. Yes. So, guys, this has been an amazing episode hosted by the Convex Group.
Yes, this has been the greatest.
Our next episode that we're releasing tomorrow will be on menstrual health. See ya!
Oh no.
Oh no! No!
It's gone. It must be the ghost. The ghost has stolen my research.
I do not want you to know about superstition.
Okay.
I'm gonna sing you a song for a cake. That sounds great. I would do that any day.
That was
You do karaoke, somebody sing for a cake.
If I sing If I Die Young at your door, the gay version, give me a Victoria sponge.
Right, okay.
Damn it!
Stitch Jack and the Pumpkins.
That's why I hate magpies.
Why we
That's what you
talking
that's why I hate men.
for real? Same.
You don't know the gender of it,
Okay.
we can assume.
Bless you, I was coughing.
Still, bless you.
Thank you. I feel blessed. Such as like, I don't know, the salt one. I don't know where the salt one comes from, but you know when you throw salt
Like in Hocus
behind
Pocus.
you.
Oh my
I've never seen that.
No,
but
like
I'm
in
sure
real life.
god.
Yeah, you're a witch, Sam.
Thank you. That'd be so
Burn the
cool.
witch.
Come on, I was...
Yeah.
That's homophobic. That's witch phobic.
Sorry. I had One Direction and stuff.
I think the cat went the wrong way.
Ripley and Payne.
I'm sorry for you, we miss you already.
The cat probably ran the wrong way. One that I forgot the name of, but it's to do with poles. When you are When you're with a group of very immature people. Why are you flirting with a bird?
Yeah, I know, right? You're trying to mate with it.
Why are you flirting with a bird?
Yeah, I know, right? You're trying to mate with it.
Hi, I'm Charlie. Oh my god, it's like this bowl videos with the candy in the bowls.
Trauma dumping Charlie!